Hi all, I want to look at a surprise opening system in this video, and I might possibly follow up this video with some more if there's interest in this system. After e4, e5, knight f3, you wouldn't have thought that black has many decent choices available or could innovate this early on. But in a rest of world game on letsplaychess.com, it was suggested to play the move queen e7. At the time I thought this was quite ridiculous, as white can just play, for example, knight c3, and what would black do now to stop this knight d5? Black would have to waste the move with c6. And you would think that black's also blocked in this bishop. So is this all bad? However, looking at it a bit more, I suddenly realised that actually white has blocked the c-pawn, and King's Indian players, obviously they don't mind finchettering their bishop. So say we had bishop c4, g6, castles, bishop g7, d3, h6, or say knight f6. Would this be so bad for the black player? Let's have a quick continuation. Say f5. Say you had this position with black. It would already be quite dangerous for white. And if black can get in knight f6, then black would be fine. So there is some logic that you're tempting white to block this c-pawn. But does this justify this approach? Is this too time consuming to do something with your bishop? There's also a great game of Kosteniuk where she crushed someone by playing f6, knight h6 to f7, believe it or not. Here I've got some speed chess games on play chess to show you with this innovation very early on. So here is a game against Zed Horvat, who is 2.557, who's so far my biggest rating scalp with this system. So he played bishop c4, then c3, and I immediately played bishop g4, which is another idea of this system, to stop this like knight g5 if knight f6. So he kicked it, and now he weakened his kingside a bit, kicking it back to g6. And in this game you'll see that I played h5 here, and now I dared to play f5, so gaining even more space if I'm allowed to play f4. And he took, and I just recaptured with a pawn, and I had a great game. In fact, the game continued like this. I'm skimming through the game because I just want to show the potential viability of the opening. So I had a very comfortable position here, just castling queenside. And actually he blundered horrifically soon, because in this very comfortable position he played knight takes e5 and I just took his queen. But anyway, let's look at just a quick conclusions from this game. Was that this setup with c3 and h3 and g4 isn't so dangerous. So bear with me there. I'm going to look at another example game, the first, 2.513. So I dare to play it again against this 2.513, and he plays it slightly differently. He doesn't go in with the g4 plan, but I play very aggressively now. As well as h6, I continue with g5 and, believe it or not, g4. I thought, why not? I'm going to castle queenside. Why not rip open the g-file? So we witness yet another idea of this system. And actually I had a brilliant attack here, a crushing attack. After rook g3, I just played rook g8, not minding this, because d5, and now I'm going to play bishop c5 check. With knight f3 will be crushing, and he was being mated here by force, or losing his queen. If king f1, queen h1 mate. So that was another nice win. So now let's have a quick conclusions on that game. So the setup was basically without g4, but black playing g5 and g4, ripping open the g-file. Now this third example, Titushi 2496. So how did he play? He played h3, stopping this bishop g4, and now I went for the fianchetto. And now d6 is very uncomfortable actually here, I have to admit, so this could be a major problem with the system. So I tried to hide that weakness, and he tried to blast me on the f-file, but he has weakened the e5 square. So here I sacrificed a piece, and it was a bit of a grueling game. We had a sort of minor pieces imbalance, and I managed to get still a lot of pressure with my rook. But I think I managed to win on time actually. It wasn't a proper win. No, I managed to queen this pawn. Okay, so now This is another game against John Shaw. It was in a series of games I played with John Shaw. I did manage to beat him with the Queen E7 move. So he's a GM in real life, and he played with a fianchetto on the king side. So I played it like a king's engine. Now with white's pawn on c2. So it's quite a comfortable position. Here I kind of sacrificed the piece for some dynamic compensation, and he kind of collapsed actually. He let me get a very good position here in the ending. I just ground him down in this game in the ending, because his king came over there, and then I just marched my king to queen my d pawn, winning his bishop. So so this system with white fianchettoing is fairly harmless in conclusion and summary from that. We'll go for 5 examples maximum, I think, on this first video. So that was the 5th example. 3, 4. Sorry, this would be the 5th example. So this is against FGR 2482. So he played like this, an immediate quick d4. He's putting me under pressure, but I just play this Kosteniuk maneuver, this knight h6 to f7, to cancel out this pressure on f7 and on that diagonal. So I'm sort of creating a strong point out of the e5 square. And again, I don't think black is too bad, except have to be very careful with white's pressure. So I managed to get that diagonal. I just want to demonstrate really that the system's playable, at least in blitz chess. So it might be an innovative system playing overboard, but I haven't had a chance yet this season, because players haven't been playing e4 against me. So here I just won. So that's a bit of a crazy game. But let's have a quick look at the opening in particular. So I had to neutralise the pressure. That was fine. So we've had here 5 quick examples of this system. In my next video I'll do a proper game, a Grandmaster game, which ended up in the draw with this system. But so in conclusion and summary for all the examples, I just really wanted to say that knight c3, although it seems tempting, and black plays c6, black has in effect encouraged white to blockade his own c-pawn. And the king's engine player may be interested in this system, because you might be able to play a fianchetto later, and then later f5 without white destroying your queenside with c4 and c5, which is typical in the king's engine. So I think the system's got a lot of food for thought. And so it may be a surprise weapon for use in your own over-the-board games or blitz games. I hope that you might try it out and maybe even do a video response to this video on YouTube, or leave me some comments and questions. But as I say, I'll follow up this video with some proper high-level games where I can find examples of it. Thanks for listening, and see you on YouTube.